Part 4, Hoping. Chapter 1, page 177. It is early in the morning, the sun has not yet fully risen, and I am sitting at the kitchen table. The buttery smell of blueberry muffins that are baking wafts through the kitchen. I love these mornings with Aunt Michelle. We don't always talk. Sometimes we just listen to the quiet French music she likes. Flip through the newspaper together. Be together. Today, though, I have a mission. My pencil hovers above the paper. It is not that I have forgotten how to write in Arabic, but sometimes my hand needs to wake up to it again. This is my 5th letter to Fatima. She has not written back once. I try to tell myself it is because she is busy, because she has always been more of a talker than a writer. I don't let myself think about the other possibilities, the scary reasons for why I haven't heard from her. In my letters, I have told her about America, about the creaky old house I live in, about Mrs. Ravenwood's ESL classes, about the boy in my math class who always wears space shirts and has messy brown hair. But this letter is different. In this letter, I am telling her about Isa and how we don't know where he is or if he's okay. I am begging for Fatima to answer me because I've convinced myself that she can tell me some happy news from back home. If she can tell me some happy news from back home, everything will be okay. If she tells me something happy, I will be able to believe that somehow Isa is happy too, that he is safe. That is so impressive, Aunt Michelle says. What? I ask, looking up from the lined page of notebook paper. That you can write in 2 languages. I wish Sarah knew how to speak Arabic. I shrug. In America, I have picked up a habit of shrugging. I don't write that well in English, I say, because I don't know what to say about Sarah. I never know what to say about Sarah. Aunt Michelle slides down into the seat beside me. She smells like sugar and flour. I wish your uncle would teach her, but he hasn't. I still don't know what to say. I press the point of my pencil into the paper. He seems busy, is all I manage. Aunt Michelle gives me a sad smile. I think it's more than that, but she doesn't say anything else. I think again of that Arabic proverb, he cannot give what he does not have. Aunt Michelle gets up to check on the muffins, and I go back to writing to Fatima. I end my letter with telling her about the school play. Can you believe it? My American school has a play that I can try out for. Do you think I should try out? I wish you were here. We could do it together. I miss doing everything together. Chapter 2, page 181. I'm with Mama at the doctor's office, and we are holding our breath as the ultrasound technician squeezes gel out over Mama's round stomach and then presses the wand against it. The screen overhead lights up, a tangle of gray and black shadows that at first don't look like anything, but then, if you squint your eyes just right, you see a foot, a hand, a mouth. You see life. The room explodes with a sound like the gallop of horse feet. It is the sound of one tiny, loud miracle. Do you want to know what you're having? The technician asks Mama. Mama turns to me. Her English has been getting better from the lessons she's been taking at the mosque, but it is still not so good. Aren't I having a baby? Mama says to me in Arabic. I laugh. The woman looks at me confused. I tell her what Mama said, a shy smile on my face. The woman laughs, and this makes Mama smile wide. She has made an American laugh. Back home, Mama always made us laugh. She wasn't funny in the way Isa was. Isa's funny is like an elephant, impossible to miss. You know when he wants to make you laugh. But Mama's funny is more like a cat, slinking around, hiding out in corners, brushing up on you by surprise. Mama, with her perfectly wrapped scarf, her clean nails, her gentle way of walking on the ground, does not seem like she would have a sharp tongue, which makes the fact that she is funny even funnier. I tell this to the ultrasound technician. I can tell this ultrasound technician did not expect Mama to be funny. I think she did not know what to expect from us at all. But when she smiles and asks, does she want to know if the baby is a boy or a girl? I know she likes us more than she thought she would. I translate for Mama, even though the wet look in her eyes lets me know she already understood. Mama nods, and the woman presses the wand back down on Mama's stomach. She says she thinks she knows, but wants to take just one more look to be sure. It is important to be certain about these things, she says. The wand moves in circles on Mama's tummy, and I go back to holding my breath. As I thought, the technician says, smiling. Another little girl. Bint, I confirm to Mama. Her eyes spill over, tears running down her cheeks that have grown fuller in the months we have been here. Pressure builds behind my eyes, too. Mama grabs my hands, squeezes. I'd almost forgotten that it's possible to cry because of happiness. Chapter 3, page 186. I hold Mama's hand as we walk out of the hospital. We are both in a daze, the word bint on our lips, tasting like chocolate, tasting like afternoon mint tea with 3 extra spoonfuls of sugar, tasting like sunshine, tasting like hope. The lobby of the hospital is decorated for Christmas, a large tree glistening with lights, branches with pine cones draped across the nurses' desks. Jingle Bells plays over the loudspeakers, a song that I had not heard until 2 weeks ago, but I now know every single word, and I don't think I'll ever forget any of them. There is so much happiness and cheer, and for a moment, I feel that Mama and I are a part of it too. It feels like a party that we were invited to, not one that we are watching through a window. But then, right as we are walking out of the hospital doors, a woman stops us. Hey, she says, pointing a finger at Mama's face. Hey, she repeats, the word like a stone thrown. You don't have to wear that anymore. The cold air from outside hisses in through the half-open door, and it no longer feels festive. Her finger moves from Mama's face to point to her head, to her hijab. You're in America now. You're free. Mama does not say anything. She grips my hand. The woman looks from Mama to me and back at Mama. Do you speak English? The snake of fear uncoils in my stomach. I am frozen for a moment, and then I urge Mama through the door, squeezing past the woman, stepping closer to the outside, to the cold. As I pass the woman, my shoulder inches from her chest. I say, excuse us, thank you. We are happy. I do not know why I said that. My English words are all mumbled, and I'm not sure she heard me or that she understood. But I wanted her to understand that we're happy here, even if we don't look like what she thinks of as happy. Outside, sleet is falling from the sky. Mama has not let go of my hand. We are happy, I say again, whispering into the cold air, saying it to Mama, to the baby girl who will be born here, but who is loved on both sides of the ocean. We are, Mama says, and there are new tears in her eyes. Chapter 4, page 190. It is winter break, and I do not have school for 2 whole weeks. I am planning to use all my free time to pick out a monologue for my play audition, and then practice it over and over again. Why don't they call it Christmas break? I ask Aunt Michelle one morning while I am sitting in the kitchen, eating the almond flour pancakes with the cacao nibs she has made. I never heard of a cacao nib before Aunt Michelle. Cacao nibs, I have learned, are a healthy version of a chocolate chip, a little less delicious, but I pretend to love them because it makes Aunt Michelle happy. Aunt Michelle laughs at my question and adds more berries to my plate. I am amazed because that even though the ground outside is frozen solid, we are able to eat as many berries as we want. Because Habibiti, Aunt Michelle has recently started calling me that, it is an Arabic word that she has heard Uncle Mazen say over and over. There is something funny about hearing that word come out of her mouth. There is something lovely about it. There are other holidays this time of year too, like Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. I nod, and I'm about to ask more questions about the holidays that I have never heard of when my cousin Sarah comes clomping into the kitchen, her fuzzy pink slippers pounding against the tile. Sarah walks with purpose, like she is not afraid of being heard. She has the same American boldness that I have seen advertised on billboards, like the restaurants down the street, like the restaurant down the street that brags about their fully loaded special that comes with everything, but really only includes peppers, onions, and cheese. I've decided it is very American to have the audacity to claim that three things add up to everything. Sarah's black hair, the only part of her that clearly came from my uncle, is tangled with sleep, and she yawns as Aunt Michelle pushes a plate in front of her. She cranes to look outside at the backyard. Good, she said, it snowed. She forks a piece of pancake into her mouth and makes a face. Can't you ever make normal pancakes, Mom? Aunt Michelle casts me a smile, and I feel like we are sharing a secret that I helped her pick out the almond flour recipe, helped her count out the cacao nibs. Can you drop me off at Mount Storm Park later? Aunt Michelle pauses, the faucet still on, dripping water onto the dirty pancake skillet. You're going sledding? Sarah nods and in between bites mumbles the names of her friends all together. Mina Harper Sloan, as if they are one inseparable unit. Sure, Aunt Michelle tosses the dish towel that is seasonally patterned with snowflakes over her shoulder. Mama never used to change the decor simply because the weather did, but Aunt Michelle seems to rearrange the whole house just because of the thermostat. Sarah stands up and Aunt Michelle says, Jude should go with you. And I know from the tone of her voice it is a command, not a suggestion. I am expecting Sarah to push back, to argue, to clomp, clomp, clomp her slippers all over the floor, but instead she says, okay, with a shrug, and then turns to me and says, just don't be weird. I know I should feel stung, but the sound of the thrilling okay is so much louder in my head than weird. Chapter 5, page 195. Before I know it, I am riding in Aunt Michelle's car up a steep hill to Mount Storm Park. I am bundled in a coat that I have borrowed from Sarah because Aunt Michelle said that my new beautiful coat was not warm enough for sledding. The coat is powder blue and puffy and so warm that I'm sweating by the time we get to the park. We wave goodbye to Aunt Michelle and as we walk over to Sarah's friends, she says again, don't be weird. And then she adds, like your friend is. I know she is talking about Layla. And a metallic taste gathers in my mouth, a warning. I feign ignorance and ask, which friend? Sarah says. She tugs on the ends of her hat, which looks like a wool bonnet, but somehow still seems stylish. The one who wears... Layla, I say. What is so... I pause and then try the decidedly American word weird about her. Sarah waves at Harper, who has just jumped out of her mom's shiny silver minivan, and says, she just acts like she isn't from here, you know? All the warmth that has built up in me during the car ride rushes out of my body and I shiver inside the blue puffy coat. But I think in my mind floods with all those thoughts that I try my best to keep at bay, that are like wolves in the night, howling that I am not from here, that I don't belong here, that I will never belong here. Layla's American is all I mean to say. She was born here, I add, because I can't help myself. She's American, but Sarah is already walking toward Harper, toward Mina, toward Sloan, and I am trudging behind her, trying to figure out how not to act weird, trying to figure out how to belong.